If you love stories of innovation, intense rivalries, and, well, a healthy dose of malicious compliance, you are in the exact right place. Let's get right into it.
A car so dominant, they had to ban it. I want you to really think about that for a second. We are looking at a machine that was so terrifyingly fast, so incredibly disruptive, that it literally forced officials to rewrite the motorsport rulebook just to get it off the track. It is, of course, the legendary BMW M3 GTR. But to truly grasp why this car sent such shockwaves for the industry, we kind of have to look at the giant it was up against.
Section 1. The Porsche Problem, Racing in the Year 2000.
Right, so to understand why this magnificent car even exists, we have to rewind to the GT class in the year 2000. Back then, Porsche's 911 GT3 was the absolute untouchable king of the track. BMW? Well, they were running their standard E46 M3 with a naturally aspirated 3.2-liter straight six. And don't get me wrong, it was a brilliant road motor, but it was totally maxed out on power. It just flat out lacked the raw firepower to keep up with Porsche's lighter, rear-mounted flat six, which was literally an endurance racing king. Incremental tweaks to that inline six just weren't going to cut it anymore.
Section 2. The P60 V8 Monster, a radical engineering solution.
BMW was super proud of their inline six heritage, but honestly, they were totally tired of playing second fiddle. So they did something drastic and secretly developed a bespoke racing weapon. And wow, this is where the sheer engineering power of the P60 V8 really shines. Developed in under 6 months, which is wild, this 4.0-liter monster had an aluminum block, a flat-plane crankshaft, and a highly complex dry sump oil system. It cranked out over 440 horsepower and literally shrieked up to 10,000 RPM. Actually, scratch that. It didn't just shriek, it sounded like tearing metal. This was not some modified street engine. It was brute, purpose-built track force.
And to harness that insane V8, they paired it with an extremely lightweight carbon fiber body. The hood, the roof, the adjustable rear wing, those massive flared fenders, literally all carbon fiber. They widened the stance, totally reworked the suspension, and completely stiffened the chassis. They basically built a silhouette prototype racing car, but just disguised it wearing a street car's face.
Section 3. The 10-car loophole, bending the rules.
So in GT racing, there's this golden rule called homologation, which basically means you have to race what you sell to the general public. BMW somehow had to make this ridiculous track monster street legal. But here's the genius part. Because the rulebook back then was incredibly vague and didn't specify a massive production volume, BMW maliciously complied. They built an astonishingly low number of these cars. Exactly 10. That's it. Just 10 street-legal versions for the entire world.
This street version was basically a technicality on 4 wheels. I mean, they choked the V8 down to 350 horsepower just to pass emissions, swapped out the racing sequential box for a standard 6-speed manual, and then slapped on an astronomical price tag of around $250,000. They absolutely did not want anyone to actually buy it. They just needed it to physically exist on paper to check a bureaucratic box.
Section 4. Total Track Dominance, the 2001 season. With the paperwork stamped and that massive V8 officially cleared, the M3 GTR was unleashed onto the American Le Mans Series in 2001. And man, the paddock did not know what hit them. Its immense torque out of slow corners and perfect balance just tore the grid apart. Out of 10 races that season, the M3 GTR won 7. 7! It clinched the drivers, team, and manufacturers championships. It was an absolute demolition of the status quo.
Section 5. The Rulebook Revenge. Porsche fights back.
Now naturally, this absolute track dominance really angered rival teams. Porsche, who actually based their race cars on real dealership models, lobbied hard. They basically argued that BMW's custom V8 was an illegal factory prototype that completely violated the spirit of GT racing. And you know what? The organizers agreed. They'd been outsmarted. So in direct retaliation, they rewrote the rulebook for 2002, raising the bar tenfold. Manufacturers now had to build at least 100 road-going cars and 1,000 engines. So the really crucial point here is this. Building 10 carbon fiber supercars at a total loss just for a trophy, that was one thing. But mass-producing 1,000 bespoke, highly complex P60 racing engines, that was absolute financial suicide. There was zero business case for it. BMW couldn't possibly meet these new numbers, and just like that, the M3 GTR's American adventure abruptly ended after just one single glorious season.
Section 6. A video game legend. Digital immortality.
Although it was basically pushed out of North America, the M3 GTR didn't just fade away into some dusty warehouse. BMW took it across the Atlantic, where it actually won Europe's toughest endurance race, the Nürburgring 24 Hours, in 2004 and 2005. And then, in late 2005, the car was plastered right on the cover of the hit video game Need for Speed Most Wanted.
And because the real car had that incredibly low production count we talked about, its massive gaming legacy became the primary way the world actually met the GTR. Millions of enthusiasts experienced the absolute thrill of its terrifying gear whine virtually. In the game, you used it to outrun cops and dominate the streets, which perfectly mirrored how the real car broke the rules and beat the racing establishment. It was immortalized as the ultimate digital symbol of rebellion.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. And I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder. In a highly regulated sport meant to keep the playing field level, was the BMW M3 GTR and its legendary 10-car loophole a stroke of absolute engineering genius? Or was it a malicious cheat that completely deserved its swift ban? It is a wild debate that car enthusiasts are still arguing about today. Thank you so much for exploring this incredible slice of automotive history with me, and I'll catch you in our next explainer.